Welcome, everyone. My name is John Green. I'm a customer success manager at EON Reality. And today I have the privilege to go through two new exciting tools added to the EON XR suite of products. And I have my colleague here, Dr. Rena Wolzinger. Rena, do you want to introduce yourself?
Thanks, John. This is Brina, and I'm the Director of Customer Success, and we'll be going over new features and how it fits into your curriculum and pedagogy. So go ahead, John.
Excellent. So as you might be familiar, there's the EON XR tools, which allows you to create engaging experiences, assign those lessons and experiences to other students and teachers. One of the exciting tools that you can add to this package is called EON Marged XR. This is going to allow you to go above and beyond what you can do with EON XR, edit in AR mode. You'll be able to work with existing models, scale this one-to-one, add additional content in AR mode, as well as potentially use a platform that you can scan objects around you or environment, save those as a file, and bring those into the editing experience of the Merged XR. So really exciting tools, opens up a lot of possibilities how you can apply this to the education experience. Let me walk you through some typical examples of what you'll be able to do with these scenarios. Now, one here is to scan an object. Now, through scanning, will require you having LiDAR technology on your phone or tablet. As you can see here, I have a tablet on my hand. I do have the LiDAR technology on that camera. And through an assortment of apps, with several different apps where you can scan your environment around you. One of them that we use is called Scaniverse. There are many other apps that can scan your environment. But what you can do here, you have some examples of previously scanned objects. I can come in here and create scan. So you can see it, my screen just turns into a kind of a live shot here of my desk, and I can just click that red button. And here I'm walking around and I am scanning my environment on this microphone.
And sometimes people ask about scanning. It's really the same as like taking a video as far as what you're doing, and because people ask like, oh, is that something that I can share? So yes, it's the same sharing as if you took a video of that object.
And I'm
But
going,
now it's scanned for 3D. Yeah, go ahead.
so there it is. And then this will just process, go through that scan. And as soon as this is processed, what I'll be able to do, now we can connect right into the EON platform, download this scan as a model. You can see it just uploaded the model. You can see right there, I can save this model. Now right below here, you can see an assortment of editing tools. I can crop, I can save this, I can change the exposure, the brightness, really edit that down to the exact model. Then I can share this. I'll export the model. You can see some of the assortment of file types that we can work with. So I'll go back here and I'm going to select GLB. And as you can see here, the EON XR app shows up right in there. I can name that file and begin the export process. So let me show you another example that we have in terms of working with current 3D models. And I'm going to editing mode. And what I'm going to do, I'm place this object right down on my laptop. I'm going to AR mode. And you're going to see that grid pops up, and there's my model. Now, the Merged XR tools can be accessed via this AR mode. On the lower right-hand corner, you're going to see this plus button. Now, if I tap on that, that's going to give me additional tools that I can use to research this product, this model that I'm working with, to look at additional content, explore, try to see if I can add additional resources in media files to this experience. So the very first object there, I'm going to click on that microphone icon, and I'm going to tag here as an annotation, microscope. Now I can tag that model with these annotations. I can either do it with just a straight up annotation, or I can add media files and media content. So this opens up this assortment of content that I can quickly add to my experience that I'm building out. So I can add text. So if I can browse different text definitions, I can just tap on that source. I can go into images, any relevant images that I want to add to this experience. I could tag on that. Are there any videos that I could research and look at in greater detail about this microscope? Okay, I just added and I can see the media files. Now coming in here as a learner, as a viewer, I would be able to look at that video, go through the text and images as well. So the EON Marged XR tools will allow you to edit right there on site on the model that you're looking at. We can also do what we call an AI search component, where I can take a snapshot of this image. So let me first tag this with an annotation, microscope. And now I'm going to take a snapshot of this model. And using Bing technology, this will search for images related to that model, which I can use to refine my search. And these images will lead me to keywords that I can use in terms of searching for additional content, maybe fluorescent microscope. I'll put in these keywords. And now it puts me back into the media content that I can use to further explore, investigate this model. So those are some of the tools you have with Merged. And lastly, within this modality, I'll be able to do what we call a 3D recording, where I can start recording my voice. And now I'm recording my voice, and here I have that little laser pointer. I can point at different objects in that model. I can move around, talk about this model, talk about the different parts, how I use this in my lab, and the different components that I have to memorize, and look at this model in different ways here. And then I can save this as a recording. And then this will be uploaded to my experience right here. And once this uploads, I can come back and play this. My voice. And now I'm recording my voice, and here I have that little laser pointer. I can point at different objects in that model. I can move around, talk about this model, talk about the different parts, how I use this in my lab. That is what we call a 3D avatar recording. Notice the avatar shows up when I do that recording. So these are some of the experiences that you will be able to research and explore using Merged XR in these tools. Let me show you. Go ahead.
I wanted to mention that this is a great opportunity for students to do their own research. They can add PDF text and images. They can even add video of your own lectures, or maybe something that they recorded and hosted. So you can be really creative around that video content too.
Absolutely. And also you'll be able to do a screen recording. So imagine you assigning your students to investigate an object, equipment, or environment. And as they are talking about the model, as they're researching, investigating, they can do a screen recording, capture that recording, share it in social media, share it back to you as the instructor, so you can evaluate the learning process that was done within this experience. So with that, let me jump right into a few more examples so you can see the Merged XR coming together in this whole process. I'll go over 2 examples. So like I showed you before, you're able to use your phone or app to scan different environments. And now here I am outdoors. I'm in front of a Tesla supercharger. I just walked around that for a few minutes, scanned the interface of that Tesla supercharger. And I was able to download that as a file and immediately export that into the EON platform. I can save that, set the thumbnail, and it saves it as a lesson experience within the EON platform. I can even tag a category to that as I build out the categories, the different scans that I add to different departments. And here I can place it back in AR mode. Now I have my digital twin side by side, the real world object. And here, what I'm going to do this alignment phase. So I'm able to take that digital twin and align it to the real world object. Now I'm going to have 3 little points of references to work with. So these 3 little red dots you're seeing, I'm just tagging my model to that real world object. There's that second dot that I just did. And here's a third dot, so you have three dots to work with. And I'm going to place a tag here on the floor. And you can see the LiDAR technology is mapping out the environment. And now I can click a button, auto align that to the real world object. And now what I can do, I can hide the model. It's still there, but it's just transparent. This is going to allow me to start building my content, researching, exploring, investigating this model through these annotations. Again, I can voice in the annotation, captures my voice, goes right to the media content. I'll be able to explore text, images, videos, and as I go through this research process. Any additional insights here, Rena, as you see this students
so
doing this?
This is already heavily used in the workforce areas, especially in the transportation industry, oil and gas, science industries, and also medical, in order to teach procedures, do safety things, quality assurance, advanced design. So many areas that digital twins are used. So it's a very important modality in understanding and learning in we have here in EON XR.
Great, and even we have an additional feature here, as you saw before, where I can take a snapshot of what I'm looking at. And I'm just thinking that how useful this would be in situations where maybe I'm on a factory floor, I'm looking at equipment, I don't know what it is and what it does. And this allows me to research on site and explore and get more information of what I'm looking at and how does it apply to the content that I'm studying.
And one of the areas that I've worked in, biomedical engineering, you could replace, for example, an organ, and then look at your design and see how that would fit into the body and how that works, or how it interfaces with real parts versus parts that are designed that need to interface together. So it gives you that opportunity in the design phase to really look at that.
Great, yeah, so many creative ways to apply this back to that learning process. And what's great, as you add these the images, the videos, you'll be able to play it back right on site and really put this into context of how this information can apply to what you're studying.
Technology, which is the most advanced charging technology in the world. This is something that allows you to make a brief stop at one of our Tesla supercharger stations, charge your car very quickly, and be on your way. Something that's unique about the supercharger is that to 22 minutes.
And also that 3D avatar recording here is an example where you can walk around, talk about this tool.
As you can see, pretty easy to use. There are many types of charging stations. This is the supercharger.
So it's a great experience here in putting into your own words. Now you have students, teachers putting into their own words, explaining procedures, and all these tools that you've learned, you'll be able to apply that in this tool here, where you can explain, and other students will be able to come here, put this in AR mode, and see that avatar come up with your voice, you as the content creator, and really be able to follow along this content that's being presented.
And a lot of people ask about the avatars, and we do have a selection of avatars that you can select. But also, in the first part of this year, we're moving to the newer technology where you can use your webcam to take an image of yourself and then make a personalized avatar. So we're looking forward to that in a few months from here.
Yep, no, that's good to further expand those capabilities. And another example, I think, of history, or bringing in this example, a statue, and we're able to download this directly from Sketchfab. So you can see right there, with Sketchfab, I downloaded that, uploaded it to the platform. And here is me scaling this one-to-one. So the ability to scale these objects that you import into the platform. And then once again, the additional Merged XR tools, I can take a snapshot, look at additional content, really engage with that content, explore. And also what we're getting into here is just the intrinsic motivation that we're tapping into the learning process. This idea of creating, exploring, researching, maintaining high engagement levels throughout this experience. So all these are elements that you could apply it back to the learning process. So here it's me looking at this model, then I can play it back in these modalities, I can play video, look at the images, get the text experience in.
Reveals a surprising undercover power structure.
What do you think about in terms of the arts and history, language, geography, Rena, as we look at this?
So, you can bring anywhere to right where you are around the world, and you can even have an expert explain to you that image and record it. So it's very powerful, sharing and communication opportunity. It's also, I want to mention, because artificial intelligence is very important right now in all of our programs, and here's a real live use of artificial intelligence in really also blockchain tag by time that you do these things. But artificial intelligence searching is integrated within EON XR and within Merged XR, so that you can really take advantage of that in doing your research. And I think that's really important to start understanding ways that AI operates and how you use it, and then practice using it.
And like you said, bringing in industry experts into these experiences and allowing learners to connect with these experts in these environments, which leads us to the next exciting tool that we have called spatial meetings. So this takes this experience above and beyond and allows learners to connect with one another in these shared environments or even objects that we're able to scale one-to-one. We can have a live interaction with your colleagues, teachers, students in these shared environments. And here you're seeing the process to accessing spatial meetings. You select your environment, you select your avatar, place that down in AR mode, scale it one-to-one. All of a sudden, you are transported into these environments with your colleagues, engaging in these experiences. How do you see this applying to the education experience, Rena?
So for one thing, I mean, your phone or your tablet really becomes your window into your 3D environment, and it's completely engaging because it is on a real scale. So walking around there, I really like to use it in class and have experiences either between students, between the faculty and the students, or between industry experts explaining procedures, orders of operations, maybe just understanding the workforce environment, safety procedures. That there's so many, but it is very engaging. And so when you have multiple people in there, you can work together, you can move objects together, you can talk together, you can share that experience together. And if you want to, you can do a recording of that experience to save for the future.
Yep, and so many opportunities here where we are in an art gallery. Now we're in a factory floor, and you can see that the annotations come up, and you're able to change the tools back and forth. Maybe my colleague is presenting. Now it's my turn. I can grab the hold of the control and lead that presentation, and all the other participants would follow my lead. Imagine as an instructor, I invite 5 of my students, and then each student takes turn going through certain processes, and while we all learn from each other in these environments. And this is a great one as well. How about you describe this situation, Rena?
Computers, one for the captain and one for the first officer. In the center is a multi-function display that can display.
So you can see in this situation, we have a former pilot who's walking us through some steps, procedures on a startup procedure inside a cockpit of an airplane. And my colleague is in the passenger seat there, and I'm in the back seat. And we're looking at an industry expert going through and teaching us procedures and content, and allowing us to get this highly interactive experience as part of the learning process.
Right, so you can go in there, and when you're looking at this cockpit, it's very immersive, and it works on your tablet or your phone, but also on the Oculus, this particular model, and you can put yourself right in the seat as well. And then it's one-to-one scale, and you can learn these about the equipment, or maybe a checklist on like preparing the airplane for takeoff, things like that. And the avatar, with the avatars, you can also point above your head and show things all around in that model. And so this experience, which would normally be hard to do, right, in a classroom, you may not have a simulator, which costs millions of dollars for something like this from Boeing, but now you have this experience that's very similar. And with the recording capability, now if you have an industry expert, you can save that for your other students. So something that I like to do, and then save it, put it in my LMS for future terms to share.
Yeah, great points there. A lot of ways to connect to these experiences. Like I say, it could be on your phone or tablet. Place a QR code and have students log into these lessons, place in AR mode. So a lot of exciting ways here to add much more engagement with your learning process. And as we come here, and then one more example, here we are at a warehouse and have 3 people in this environment. Again, so many industry experiences connecting to environments where potentially students will work in, and having them get familiar with the tools, the environments, certain protocols, procedures in these areas. And you can see here someone can go over certain procedures while we watch and learn from one another, get that collaborative learning method involved. So many great applications here that you can provide to your learners in these environments.
Right, and we're looking at, a warehouse safety, warehouse operations. That was forklift safety as well. And then this one is now moving to a giant engine, and explaining all the parts and saving that experience. But when you see this in front of you, it's pretty amazing, because it's to scale. You can also make it smaller if you're in a smaller room, and you can interact with those parts. You can take them apart. You can focus on one section. So things that were formerly not possible to do.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you for your time. I just wanted to present those two new exciting solutions added to the EON XR suite of products that you can take advantage of. Again, these will just enhance and build what you are familiar with EON XR and take it to a new level. And again, we are excited to say our product development team is expanding these experiences, further developing what you can do in these environments. So be on the lookout for additional features as we release new versions of Marged XR in spatial meetings.
If students find it pretty easy to use, most of these are one-button operations. The spatial meetings, you can have several participants, and you can have group projects, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks,
Excellent.
everybody.
Okay, thank you for your time.